Hello, everyone, and welcome to ScreenBugs. I'm Kai.
I'm Justin.
And after popular demand, it's another Kai and Justin episode.
Yes!
I know you all wanted it, so here it is. And this week, we are doing the 2022 slapstick comedy film, Hundreds of Beavers, directed by Mike Cheslik.
And if you've not seen Hundreds of Beavers, then go watch Hundreds of Beavers.
Well put, Justin.
Spoiler warning.
This is going to be a difficult film this week because Hundreds of Beavers is, in fact, essentially a silent film.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much we're going to spoil. I don't know. But we're going to do our best to walk you through the film and talk about it. And we will be doing a bit of description. Justin is sitting here watching the film. So
For
that
the first time. I'm off the dome.
at 2 times speed so that he can keep up and remember all the gags.
Yes.
So, Justin, you've not seen this film before.
I've not. I knew nothing about this film going in. And it is... I think if I was to make a list of possible theories of what this film could be, I think what it is was probably not on the list.
You could not predict a single aspect of this film.
Not even remotely.
I remember seeing the trailer, but it was sent to me by my dad. Say, hi, Al. Hi, Al.
Hi, Al.
And I'd never seen anything like that before. It had such a unique look to it. And I think if you watch this film, and please do, I can't stress enough, go watch this film. It's a fantastic film. It is, I want to say, maybe the company's first full-length film. They've done short films before.
I know it was a director's feature film debut. I know that for sure.
So, I mean, it was a fairly low-budget film. This had a budget of $150,000 which is incredibly low.
Well spent in this.
Oh my God, they used this to a T. So, shall we start the film with... We start with a quote.
Well, yes.
Read us the quote, Justin, as you have the film.
The quote is, "Lord, grant me chastity, but not yet."
Not yet. And the film does this. We get a couple quotes sprinkled in every now and again. Because we start off with our dear Applejack. A lovely, lovely musical number to get us right into the film. What do you think, Justin? What was your first impression of this? Because it's a hell of a way to start the film.
So, yeah, the visual style of this film is insane. Because it feels like... Obviously, it's inspired by older slapstick films, but obviously a film like this could never have been made.
I mean, not even old slapstick films. It's like Looney Tunes, man. It's like...
Yeah, I've not watched a lot of...
You've not watched... You know about fucking Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote?
And these words are ringing bells.
Oh, no, I can't have you searching up everything.
But I'm not a Looney Tuner.
You're not a Looney Tune, mate. What are you doing?
But no, the style is really cool. It's almost like... It's very of the internet age. I don't know what the director used to do, but it feels like... I don't even know what to say.
It doesn't feel like anything else, does it?
Nothing's like this.
I've never watched a film that does this, and it's a very mixed media film.
And it mixes different styles incredibly.
That's what I mean. You've got this opening musical number, which is a fantastic musical number anyway, and it's set this out. And you've got a real life person, our main character, Gene Kayak, who's yet to be named yet, but I'll for the sake of the viewers, he's there singing and dancing. He's around people who are 2D drawings, swinging beer, and there's like a 3D barrel in the background that's a clear physical prop.
In a lot of ways, it is just like your average Liverpool pub.
What? Last time I went to a Liverpool pub, they all were suspiciously 2D and black and white.
Lots of 2D scousers, and let me tell you, they love a bit of cider.
It's a great opening up because you get introduced to everything. You get introduced to the tone, the style, the logic of the film, because it's a
lack of.
Well, lack of it's cartoon logic. You know, you've got our main character who's jumping about, and he's like standing on top of a barrel, wheeling it down the hill, and it's a great way to start the film. And this film really does have great visuals.
Incredible visuals. Because so many elements remind me of things that I love and projects I've seen, but I've never seen them mixed in this kind of way. And it's just beautiful as well. Even though things sometimes look scuffed, the way it's composed and put together is just
this is what I mean.
Incredible.
They use a lot of green screen in this film, and a lot of kind of layered assets as well, don't they? You've got a lot of like what it seems to be looking like a green screen put onto a live action kind of thing. But it looks really good. There's some scenes that are genuinely beautiful, like some really well
absolutely
composite scenes. So we have our opening number. The Applejack, our main character, gets a little bit drunk and destroys his entire house and farm.
And sets the entire thing on fire. And they hold on the shot of the burning fucking trees for a bit too long. And let me break the fourth wall for a second. Before watching this one, I watched a horror film called Heretic for either the next episode or the episode before this. And I'm in the horror movie mindset. So when you hold too long on a shot of burning trees, I think I'm about to get jump scared. I was on edge, if I'm honest.
You think a burnt corpse is going to go, and after the burn, we have a bit of a time skip.
Indeed.
Our main character, Gene Kayak, is nicely shaven at the start of the film. And at the time we next see him, in the next scene, he has a full beard.
A big burly beard.
It's winter. So he clearly got that drunk.
And he's been like, what's the word? Hibernating.
He's been hibernating, yeah. He's got that drunk and he slept until winter, which I think Ben is doing this week. I think he's got that drunk. That's why we lost him. That's why we lost him. He's currently sleeping till the winter. And the film just jumps straight in after that. It's bit after bit after bit after bit of physical comedy and dumb gags.
That's one thing. It felt like there's imagine this is how it feels. There's like a YouTube channel that started in the 2000s making sketch comedy, really good stuff, but they've got their own style. And I've fallen asleep to one of them, and it's auto-playing more of them. And this movie feels like it's just auto-playing really sick comedy sketches that are somewhat linked, but really they're just bit after bit after bit.
The film is almost 2 hours long, and it uses every second of this 2 hours to its advantage, doesn't it? Because he's watching the film, he's giggling.
I'm just looking at bits, and he's just a happy guy, isn't he?
You know, we currently, the next kind of the sequences, we follow Gene, and he's exploring the winter environment because he's hungry.
And he's trying to survive.
And I love there's a recurring gag that's kind of set up now with he keeps falling into holes.
That's one of my next notes, is that I hated that it made me giggle every single time.
No, this film does that so much. I found myself laughing at stuff I don't usually laugh at. a lot of crude humour that I'm not always a big fan of. It just hits the nail on the head every single time.
I love that there's a whole coming up. There's like a whole I feel like it's like a minute of him just at a pile of sticks and trying to start a fire, and all of the comedy's basically just done with the edit. But it's entertaining for minutes, this guy just rubbing sticks together.
Well, yeah, because he starts the fire and he celebrates and a gust of wind blows it out. So he goes, and he shifts to where the wind's coming in, and he lights the fire and the wind comes in from a different direction. It's classic comedy, and it just works.
It's like a cartoon overlay. And when it's nighttime, they just turn the brightness down of the video. And it's like, yeah, it's nighttime.
But it works really well.
It does. It genuinely does.
So I love a little bit as Gene is looking for food, because obviously there's no dialogue in this film. It's very limited dialogue, and there's nothing past grunts and grumbles.
I swear there's like one spoken word, right?
There's like one or two, because I've written down quotes, and I think there's about two.
Okay.
And they've got to communicate this through visuals, and his tummy rumbles. And his torso physically wibbles when his tummy rumbles. And I love it. I love the visual editing style. Have you gotten to that bit? Is that what yeah. And it goes
really good.
And his tummy wiggles back and forth. And it's just I throughout the film, I would have loved to see this film being made.
Oh yeah.
Like the recording of our main character, who is played by the fantastic Ryland Brixton Cole too. Considering he is pretty much your only character for the whole film, he's so good.
It's really, because they use a lot of cartoon like ideas, like person's hungry, they see person and they see food.
Yeah, they go wow and turn into food.
It's a classic cartoon thing. But the way that maybe I'm wrong. I feel like the way it's edited, the way it's black and white, and it's a very delicate balance where this could have been really corny and instead is really funny and really works.
Well, yeah, when I first saw the trailer for this film, it hadn't quite captured me. And I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks a bit bizarre. I've not seen anything like this. And I thought it looked a bit crude and a bit basic. And then my dad and sister watched it without me, because they're horrible. And they were like, Kai, this is hilarious. You need to sit and watch this. So I sit and watched it, and a giggle a minute. It really is a giggle a minute. So we follow Gene, and he's trying to get food, and he's
a hungry guy.
He's a hungry guy. There's all the animals in this film are fantastic.
I love it
because they're either a puppet, a really good puppet, or they're very clearly a man in a suit.
I have a favorite puppet.
You have a favorite puppet?
It's because
I have a favorite puppet as well.
In films of puppets and TV shows of puppets, and specifically old ones, in a lot of them there's a little frog puppet, and little frog puppets always look amazing.
And it does in this film. There's a little frog.
I love it. I sort of like, that makes me feel. It reminds me of Bagpuss. You ever seen Bagpuss?
Of course, I've seen Bagpuss.
Thank you. No one's seen Bagpuss these days.
We're in fucking the UK, man. Everyone knows. But I have a Bagpuss plush in my room.
You'll be surprised how many people our age don't know Bagpuss.
Well, they're doing another series.
They're not.
Yeah, they're
being serious.
They're doing another Bagpuss.
This is really good news, guys.
Justin's got a massive smile on his face at the moment.
I'm so excited. Oh, they're gonna ruin it.
Why are they going to ruin it?
Because it's not going to look as good.
No, they're not going to computer generate it. They're going to.
It's going to be actual Bagpuss.
Yeah, they're going to do stop animation in that as well.
You know the old bird.
Yeah, that sounds just like him.
Yeah,
it's like Bagpuss. This should have been our guest this week. Now that Ben's not here, we should have had Bagpuss.
Just a little mice.
Yeah. So
okay, I'm happy now. Yeah. Anyway,
what did you think of the score in this film?
I have a few notes on it. It's really pleasant, and I like how there's almost like between sections of the films, like sort of musical interludes in a way with actual lyrics and singing that seem to be like related.
I like that
story as well.
I really like that every area has different music.
Oh, is it actually?
This film is very strange, and I'm going to try and explain it for those listening. So essentially, the film is skit after skit after skit after skit, and this is done by kind of a visualization of Gene moving around a map. So he moves from one area, there's a skit there, he moves to another area, there's a skit there, and it cycles, and every cycle, things get a little bit more ridiculous, and we're not into the cycle yet.
The visual style, it's from right off the bat, it's very unique and it's very well made. But the further you get into the film, the more insane the visuals become as well.
Oh, the last, 10 minutes are absolutely batshit crazy.
Amazing.
So this is kind of tame at this point. You know, there's a bit of physical comedy with the rabbits. He's trying to catch him and he falls over and he's stumbling over himself and he's cold and it's very great. And then we get introduced to the beavers for the first time, who are walking through the woods with very sinister music, which I really like. So we're in the beaver intro, and I love the music here. It feels like, like the Empire March from Star Wars, and they're carrying a log, and it kind of zooms out, and there's more beavers carrying logs, and they're all one thing I love about the physical comedy in this is I love that the music cuts out and it just lets you hear the noise. So when Gene tackles the beaver, there's like a nice score and he tackles the beaver and the music cuts completely and you can just hear both actors like grunting because he just spear tackles him.
Then he just gets battered by some beavers.
Yeah, but you just hear the grunts and the scuffling of them punching each other. It's so stupid, but it works every time.
There's a shot I really enjoy when he's tackled some of them and being up a bit and he's following more of them and it's like a huge line of beavers with logs.
Yeah.
It looks to me, maybe I'm wrong, it looks to me like it's just been two guys in beaver suits going around this long path. Then because it's only a short shot that didn't play for long, it's just rotoscoped each individual part of the walk they were on and made it look like a long line, but I believe it's probably just two of them that have done that whole walk and it looks amazing.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
There is a good amount of beaver actors who, for the sake of the film, right at the end of the episode, I'm going to name all of them because they're fantastic, and these are all the costume actors because we have about 5-6 human characters, and all the other characters are animals, and I'd love to credit them as well because they really shine in this film.
They've done an amazing job.
So I will credit them at the end of the episode.
We get a little bit of him seeing some eggs in like a bird's nest, and he imagines them first as fried eggs, which makes sense. Then it does just become a pizza.
It does. He imagines them as pizza, and I love that the shot of the the fried egg. So Gene is still looking for food at this point. He's yet to have a successful meal. So the shot is of some eggs, and it morphs into fried eggs on a pan, and it's clearly like practical. They've clearly just put fried eggs in a pan above him, and he's looking up at them. I love how clever this film is with its editing and with its style. It's a cartoon, but it's real, and it's great.
It looks, because the cartoon element, obviously you can tell the cartoon. It's not meant to look realistic. It's got a style, but again, it would have been so easy to mess up and make this mix of things look really sloppy. Yeah. They've made it look silly in a way that really works, and I feel like it's a very fine line. Everything's very intentional, and the people making this film have known exactly what they're doing, so it looks good.
I mean, it is so difficult to have every joke land the way it does.
That's it.
I think when watching the film, there wasn't a single joke that didn't make me giggle. Especially the first time. So, I mean, it's a simple plot as well. It works so well with its simplicity. It's literally just, as of now, Gene needs to get some food. So he's trying to trap whatever he can get his hands on. And it's great. And I love in the egg gathering scene when he scoots up the tree.
I was going to say that.
It's very clearly, it's a 2D animation. It's not him climbing a tree. He's like squashing and stretching up the tree. And it's like rigged animation. I'm sure it's something you've done on After Effects before, Justin.
And it's just I don't know how to describe it, because even though it's silly, it looks so good. I think one thing they do really well is when you play with like motion blur and the wriggling of shapes and stuff. Yeah, is everything feels like that. It feels like a friction and a momentum to all the movements and to interaction. Whenever he interacts with something that's cartoony, because of the way they've done it, and it's the attention to detail that makes it feel like this is a guy interacting with a cartoon.
Yeah, no, it is, and they mix it so well, because either it'll be Gene out in the forest and it's filmed in a very clear forest, like it's a very physical set, they're in the middle of nowhere, or it's him green screened onto something else. But it doesn't look bad. It's obviously green screen.
That's it.
But you're willing to kind of put that aside because it just works and it looks so good.
And the way things are composited as well are perfect. Like when he's climbed up the tree to try and grab the eggs and stuff, he's just standing in a forest, reaching out like that. They've overlaid the entire tree in front of him, and the branch and the eggs, and it looks great.
It really does. So where are we up to now, Justin? It's because you've got the film next to you. I want you to lead me through the film, and I will say notes as we get to those bits.
Well, currently we're at the bit where he's dodging the bird shit.
Yes, we see the geese.
And there's a really good... I like the bit as well that every time he whistles, he gets absolutely battered by a bird as well.
There is so many recurring bits in this film. And you've got, early on, he keeps falling in holes very suddenly. The rabbit holes. It's literally just like a thunk, and he falls through the hole. Every time he whistles, he gets hit by a woodpecker. And it's great. They don't get old because they start using these bits in very creative ways. Like especially with the woodpecker later on, and it just works.
Some other things as well, some of the recurring bits become like mechanics later in the film as well.
This film, I don't know how to describe this. It's almost like a game. It feels very game-like. Like you could see this being played like as a game, because there's so many like it's got mechanics. It's got it's got like the whole map like flow. It's like levels almost. It's a very fun.
It feels the main character is just a character in the game, learning the mechanics and leveling up and becoming.
Yeah, because that's what happens in this. Bit.
Yeah, he's almost like collecting recipes and like in the market and things. Our next segment is with the fish, which is one of the best looking parts. It is amazing.
I love so we get introduced to a fish puppet because
so good.
Gene has had no luck with hunting animals, so he's going to look at fishing, and there's just this little fish puppet that kind of comes swimming by, and he's like a little hand puppet. But all the puppets look great because they look like if you just got a cartoon and just made it real, and
it looks amazing. They're like the puppets are probably my favorite. Probably my favorite element of the film. A good puppet always makes any film better, and the puppets look amazing. And this fish is a knobhead. He's not falling for anything.
It's great, and it kind of the physical comedy here is good because he dips his finger in hopes that he'll get a fish. There's no fish. And does he bite his finger or does something else bite his finger?
I think he bites his finger.
His finger ends up bleeding and he sticks his finger in the water, wiggles about, and the blood comes off and the fish comes out. And there's a great shot of him pulling it out. And it's clearly like a fish kind of glove device that's like on his finger. And he's wiggling his finger to make it look like the fish is moving. And it looks great. And then it's followed by him he figures out the mechanic.
Yes.
Bites all of his fingers at once, and then it cuts to him with a fish on each finger, and it just looks great. It really it's such a creative film. You could not predict any of this film.
It's also a lot of like random like snowmen and snow creatures that just kind of come out of nowhere and are just like chilling with him.
He makes a lot of snowmen, and they look good because they're obviously not real.
Yeah,
they're very clearly edited in afterwards, but. The way he interacts with them, you wouldn't tell. I hope those at home are following along with this film because we're doing our best to describe a film.
It definitely helps if you've seen it.
Do what Justin's doing. Watch it along with us. It's a hell of a ride.
I was saying we get a little sequence where he's suddenly serving booze to his snow friends, and then he's at a big table drinking snow booze with his snow friends.
Things just happen in this film quite a lot.
There's no reason for this to happen.
There is no reason for anything in this film, but the film does it and it works. Like there's so many cuts and random moments. Like there's a bit earlier in the film, and I know we brushed over this, where he's trying to hunt the rabbits and he makes the sexy rabbit snowman. And it's just a snowman with rabbit ears and boobs. And there's two rabbits walk past these snowmen. And there's just a little bit where the rabbits aren't bothered because they're gay. And Gene just goes, oh. And that's the bit. It's just stupid bit after stupid bit. And it's great.
That's what I mean. It feels like a collection of small comedy sketches.
I feel like this, you could easily put this film on Instagram Reels.
Absolutely.
YouTube Shorts.
This is a reelable film.
Hundreds of reels, that's the...
And then we get introduced to a new mechanic.
What's the new mechanic, Justin?
The shop, the market.
We get more characters, essentially.
I wasn't expecting there to be more characters, to be honest.
Yeah, it's for the good, how far are you into the film? Watching on 2 times speed.
20 minutes.
First 20 minutes, it's just Gene fucking them out. So, the shop. We get introduced to 2 more characters. The merchant, played by Doug Mancheski, and the furrier, played by Olivia Graves. And I love these guys. They're great characters. Now, again, when I talk about this film feeling like a game, the shop has... It has like a UI. Yeah, it's got because they have got to show everything through pictures. It's like pictures of what he wants and how much he needs, and it's like a progression. And there's like shop music. There's feels very like Zelda kind of shop music. It's great.
And it is a reoccurring spot. Like he almost like in a game, he progresses and upgrades, and he goes back to the shop to see what he can get now and stuff. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's a very natural progression through his film as Gene becomes more competent and more experience. It's great.
I love the recurring bit of the market guy. He's like spits and he keeps missing what even is it, like a jar?
The spit bucket.
The spit bucket.
Yeah, the spit bucket. So another recurring gig is he misses the spit bucket, and it gets more ridiculous as the film goes on until there's great payoff for every gag.
Absolutely.
And this gag has payoff. It's great. I love everyone's little grumbles that they do. All the characters that go. It's great. It works so well. Because Gene gets his knife, his first item, and in a random bit decides to commit Japanese ritual suicide with this little knife. He's got it's like the size. It's like the size of your pinky finger, the knife, and that's the joke. And he plunges it into his chest and goes, and it's just a stupid bit.
Yeah.
Mapping out the tunnels is what I've got written down left. Now Gene he's a bit more competent. He decides to go back to the rabbit holes, which we saw earlier. That comes back to it, and he maps them out, and he kind of gets a grip of his environment. And there's a lovely little visual map where it's like a hand-drawn style of little doodles. So it very clearly shows us which location we're at because it shows the map. Then it cuts to Gene there.
I love him. Is it wood he makes the fake carrots out?
Yeah, he gnaws a bit of wood with his teeth.
And the shots are so good when he has a new one, it zooms on in his face, and it's a nice little angle. And at one point he loses his teeth, and then gets them back, then loses them, then gets them back and loses them.
There's some great camera work in this film. They know it's nice because they know how stupid the film is.
Yeah.
As well, it's they play to it fantastically.
It was around this point in the film that I realised, because at this point I was watching it, and I realised I've not taken notes in ages here. But then I realised that once I stopped taking as many notes, and I was just watching a film and thought, I love this playing during the recording.
Yeah.
I started to enjoy it like 10 times more.
Well, you need to keep an eye on the film. You can't look away because you'll miss
no dialogue.
You'll miss something hilarious. You'll miss a bit of physical comedy. And it's at this point so after he maps out the tunnels, we get introduced to our first bug of the film.
Oh yes.
We get some more puppets. We get introduced to these little puppet flies, which appear a lot, and they're like little pom-poms with eyes, essentially, that kind of like fly around. They look great.
Until this point, I forgot those bugs in this film.
We couldn't review it otherwise, Justin.
I forgot what the podcast was. I thought we were on, I don't know, the rest is movies.
So yeah, this is our first bug. Yeah. So we can cover it, and there's more bugs in the film. So we've hit our mark on our rule there, which is nice. And it's at this point in the film, I love Gene's expressions.
Amazing expressions.
What do you think of his performance overall?
It's really good. Again, I think it takes a certain kind of confidence and being good at what you do whilst not taking yourself too seriously to do a good slapstick performance, and he does that. It
could have been so easy for him to fuck this up, and he just doesn't.
That's it.
So good. And I'm glad this film gets the recognition that it has. It's gained a bit more popularity recently.
That is good.
They're doing a cinema run in this country.
Is it?
Places like Liverpool cool. And that. If we want to go see that, if anyone else wants to go see that, I'd love to go watch it in cinemas. Yeah. And we get, shortly after our introduction to the flies, we get introduction to more bugs in the form of the maggots.
Yes.
Who, again, are they're finger puppets.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
All the maggots in this film are just someone wiggling their fingers.
And I love the puppet.
They love the puppets in this film. And
again, the way it's composited onto the shot is really, really good.
Yes. Can you describe it? Describe the shot with the maggots, because
let me. Yeah.
Do your best. Now, apologies those at home if you've not seen this film, because you're going to be so lost. I am sorry.
So we have like a foot, and a bone sticking out of it. And then they're like little, they've got little googly eyes, and they're just sort of wriggling a bit. And I think they've been wriggled still on a green screen, cut out, rotoscoped out, then moved around and animated more within the shot and the track to it. And they're just sort of like, they're just chilling out.
It's so... They're
very cute.
They are a little bit cute. I love all the puppets. They're very cute. The frog, the flies, they look great. After this, we get the first confirmed kill of a beaver. So our first beaver kill, because to procure items at the shop, Gene needs to kill and bring the pelts back to the shopkeeper. And it's a really cool, because every time Gene kills something...
Although I don't think it's a beaver he kills first, is it? It's a raccoon.
Oh, it is. So Justin's got the film. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Yeah, he kills a raccoon because it's the first kill. He kills a raccoon, and I love
just carrying his thing this size of him as well.
Yeah, I love whenever something dies in this film. It's a very obvious cut to a ragdoll.
Yeah,
and I love it because it just
with the crossed out eyes.
It harkens back to old films, and whenever someone gets chucked around, it's very clearly a ragdoll. They don't try and hide it. They know how stupid it looks.
And it's worth saying, in case anyone listening hasn't actually watched the film, all of the animals, the raccoons, the beavers, all of them, there's like dogs, there's all sorts, rabbits. They're all human-sized, but most of them are bigger than the main guy.
Yeah.
So when he kills like an animal like a beaver, he's carrying a ragdoll bigger than him on his shoulder.
Or he's like dragging her. They're all men in suits. They're not little puppets. We're talking about puppets a lot.
Yeah.
Only certain animals are puppets. Any animal that gets killed is not a puppet.
It's a big bastard.
It's a big man in a suit. and the suits are great because they're very clearly like party costumes. They're not meant to look good. They look silly, and it's great.
And yet, if once you're like 10 minutes and you're like, yeah, that's a rabbit.
You accept it. You go,
a rabbit.
This is what rabbits look like. I walked outside and I saw a regular rabbit and I was like, that's not what they look like. That's not a man in a suit.
Like a big man in a suit.
That's not a man in a suit. And I love, after he kills the raccoon, we get the great bit of between Jean and the furrier as she disembowels a raccoon. And mind you, she's disemboweling a costume at this point. And
it's really gory somehow.
It's really gory. There's bones snapping, and she's ripping out organs. And
the whole time, by the way, Gene is completely naked, and he's covering just his private parts in just snow.
I can't believe we glossed over the fact that for a good 10 minutes, Gene is completely naked.
Yeah, we kind of didn't mention.
He uses his clothes to create like rope and traps and.
He's good with his resources.
He's good with his resources. And it's great. And I love the logic in this bit because while he's naked, it does the classic cartoon aspect of it's always convenient. Something's always conveniently covering his privates.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. So we disembowel a raccoon. And I love this bit because you can see the inside of the raccoon. There's like a very clearly fake human skeleton.
There's organs. When they take the organs out, the organs have just been swapped with a human skeleton inside.
Yeah. And, like the heart of the raccoon is a big love heart instead of like a anatomically correct heart.
What? And they did a good... The fit they get out of that raccoon is fire.
So Gene, they disembowel the raccoon. It gets turned into a costume for Gene. And he has a lovely little skin suit. And he's got like a dead raccoon hat, and the hat's bigger than his head. It's bigger than most of him. And it's got the raccoon's face on, and it's so noticeable. It's so out there. It's so big. And that's what this film is. It's out there. It's big.
And then we get the start of a new bit, which is the title sequence. They have like a few title sequences.
Yes. So we are, how far are we into the film at this point?
Like half an hour.
Half an hour in. We get title cards for our characters. We get introduced to, Gene, he was the Applejack, but it gets nicely crossed out and put with the Trapper, the third Trapper, and it's really nice.
I bet I love is during that sequence. There's a bit where he's just walking down some snow and you see a banana peel. You're like, oh, he's gonna step on a banana peel. He walks right past it, and the entire ground below him spins, and he falls into a trap.
And then we have a really good shot.
Yes.
Of Gene falls into this pit trap and he wakes up and it's like really slowly kind of zooms out to reveal he's in a spike trap and there's a dead beaver.
That's been impaled.
The way the lighting and the way it's shot, it feels so, and I know you've not seen this film, Justin, because you've not seen anything past like the 1900s. It's very like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, like kind of very German expressionist kind of there's a couple shots that feel like this style. We'll talk about that later. But they've got a very unique style here, and it feels very German expressionist, and it feels like Dr. Caligari. And I really like that, because you can tell that the film was made by people who love films.
Absolutely. Then he gets saved by a bunch of dogs.
Yes, we meet another character. We meet our master fur trapper, who's basically Santa.
Yeah, he's just Santa.
He's meant to look like Santa, but he's got a sled. So this is the master.
This is a Christmas film in a lot of ways.
He's played by Wes Tank. Great name. He's great. I like him because at this point, because Gene has fallen into a hole, he's injured, and it's now the process of him learning to become a fur trapper. So we see the master fur trader who has a pack of dogs with him, and he has a sled pulled by dogs. And I will remind you that these dogs are not dogs, they are men in suits.
Men in suits. But again, it takes mere moments for me to just accept these are dogs.
Yeah.
This is what dogs look like.
You are willing to put aside everything you know about animals. And his sled is being pulled by a bunch of men in suits, and all the shots are great because you can tell that it's not edited. They are in the middle of the forest, and there's like 6 men in dog costumes pulling a sled, and some of them are struggling. You can kind of tell.
This whole section's got some really gorgeous shots. As well, like when they're at the campfire and there's like a bunch of dogs playing cards on the table next to them is amazing. And the way they've lit it as well, because I think they've filmed it when it was, I don't know if it was day outside, maybe evening, but I think it was light outside. And it's like in low budget films, it's quite common to film night shots at daytime.
Then just
then edit it. And they've done that. They've basically made it extremely dark everywhere else in the shot, but the fireplace and a lantern on the table, it's literally just a mask with a.
It's like a circle, isn't it? They've cut it. They cut it out. Yeah. This film does a lot of really good, what I'm going to decidedly call cutting and sticking.
Yeah.
It's like when you cut out someone with scissors and plaster it somewhere else, and it looks fantastic.
It's amazing.
So we've got a great little sequence of the trapper's dogs slowly being killed.
That's actually devastating.
It's a bit devastating. I love how they do this bit because we're introduced to the wolves. And their eyes, they kind of appear in the darkness.
The cartoon eyes in the dark as well.
It's really effective, and it's such a good bit. And sorry, Justin, just to say, this is where we get our first frog puppet.
Yes.
So during this segment of Gene becoming more experienced, we see a frog puppet because frogs. There's like a nice order to things. Like frogs are used to trap skunks, and there's like a nice little correlation because the beavers like wood, and they like the shit that they use to trap them. The bunnies like carrots, and it's like a nice. So the skunks like frogs.
There's a very clear food chain, and it is again a mechanic of it.
It is a mechanic that uses it to its advantage, 100%. So as the dogs slowly die, we get the wolves' eyes in the darkness, and it is very cartoony of just eyes in the darkness. That's all we see, and it builds up to this great reveal of the wolf coming out of the darkness, and you've got this great build up, and again, the wolf is a man in a suit, isn't it? And it's so silly because it's almost a horror segment of this film of the dog slowly dying, and it's very ridiculous
because it's so dark as well, and the lighting is so tight on faces. There's lots of close-ups and handheld shots. It does have a lot of like. It's just very intense, and it's shot really, really well.
So when the wolves are revealed, we have a bit of a shift in the way things are filmed. As Gene and the fur trapper, they escape up a tree.
Yeah.
I think this is an absolutely beautiful segment of the film because you can tell the way they've shot it is that the log is clearly on its side. They're not climbing up, they're climbing sideways, and it's just the way it's filmed, it looks like. But the visuals are great.
It's like segments of the film that have very, very different visual styles for like, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, they have like completely different visual styles for certain parts of the film, and it looks, this part, like you said specifically, looks amazing. Yeah,
and it goes from this silly comedy bits where they're out in the woods to some really nice, striking visuals, and it just looks amazing. And then sadly, the master fur trapper is killed. He is dragged down the tree and killed
by the wolves. Then we've got the first shot of the next morning when he's just stood there and it's like blood and footprints all over the ground.
They do a lot of stuff with the footprints and that in the snow, which are edited on. All of this is edited. This isn't real. It's like very clearly hand-drawn aspects, like cut and stick in onto the snow. And this is the progression now because Gene has no one to help him.
Gene has become the master.
He has become the master trapper, and it's him kind of getting his way.
He makes a grave as well. He makes a grave done with his teeth, and it's a perfectly carved, like almost like Christ on a cross.
Yeah, because he carves this thing out of his teeth. He puts it down in the ground and then spits up a shit ton of blood.
Oh, it's so good.
This film is cartoonishly gory as well, which is very nice. It's a nice border between a kid's film and an adult film because there's very crude jokes in there as well. Because we see the footprints with the bunnies. There's a bit where he follows footprints of what he thinks to be rabbits, and I like they do a lot with footprints in this film, and every time they show footprints, they show you what made the footprints, and by showing a cutout of the head.
Again, more game-like mechanics as well.
So they follow this bunny trail, and we essentially see the whole life of these bunnies.
Oh, God.
And we see the footprints as they play together, and there's like loads of footprints as they have a marriage ceremony, and then there is and there's outlines in the ground of two rabbits having sex, and then there's more outlines of rabbits having sex, and then there is an outline of a rabbit giving birth. And then there's now little footprints joined with the other footprints.
Oh, this bit's fucked up. It's fucked. Oh, it actually gave me. It disturbs me deeply.
This bit is a good couple minutes, and the build-up is fantastic as we follow Gene go from footprint to footprint, and there's different points. You know, like a gravestone appears, and he like prays for the gravestone of the rabbit. Like the footprints go off to one side, and there's like now little footprints in the snow. And at the end of the little footprints, there is 2 little baby bunnies. And for starters, these guys are great because they're very clearly shrunken down assets. They've clearly filmed someone in a suit and shrunk them down. And they've got big cartoony eyes. And they're looking up at Gene. And there's like, oh, it's like, oh, moment. And then there is a extremely harsh cut to Gene slow roasting both of the baby bunnies on a spit.
And it's just like, just before as well, the way he's looking down to them like, oh, he's like smiling at them. He's going, oh, look at them. Cut. It's nighttime. They're impaled on a stick, being burned over a fire. It is fucked. They were just kids.
The payoff to this joke is so good. This film knows how to build up a joke and how to pay it off in the best way possible. So now this moment is the start of what I'm going to label the loops. So essentially, to those listening, Gene now goes from location to locations in a big circle. And every time he goes to these locations in a circle, something happens. And this is at the point where I noticed everywhere has a different bit of music. And one that struck out to me is the kind of beaver's bathroom, is what I'm going to call it. He comes across a place where all the beavers shit, essentially, and it's a very comical moment. The music is stock music, which is great. They use it great. It's also in Little Big Planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did recognise that.
So what I'm going to ask, Justin, is for you to play a brief snippet of that music, because it's copyright free, so we can play this music, I'm going to assume.
Let me just find...
You don't have to play it now. You can play this when we're editing. Just for those at home, listen to this, because you'll know this song. I love that. I love that because it's very faint and I didn't notice it. And it's nice that they're using what they can. Because this film doesn't have a big budget and they need to use that. Yeah, so it's during this segment of him going from skit to skit, we get introduced to another character who appears very briefly and very not much. The native fur trader.
Yes.
Played by Louis Rico, or Louis Rico. He's a great character because we see him and his horse.
This is a nice horse. It does have a human face.
See, again, and now this is a horse, and of course it's going to be a man in a suit, but it's a pantomime horse.
Yeah.
So someone is the front, someone is the back, and there's a close-up of the horse, and it's so good because it's not like a horse mask. It's the horse head is on top of another human head, so you can just see this guy's face.
And the close-up is focused on the human face.
And it's so aware of itself, and it's so stupid.
Oh, it's amazing.
And it's shortly after this, I believe we get our first confirmed beaver kill, which is a great moment. And I love that it introduces, every time Gene kills a beaver, there's a little picture of a beaver and the counter,
a kill count,
goes up by 1. There is an official kill count in this film, which is fantastic.
I wonder how many beavers he kills at the end.
Oh, I don't know, 3 maybe.
I wonder if it's the title of the film.
Do you think? So it's after it's after the beaver kill. We get introduced to what is essentially Beaver, Sherlock Holmes and Watson investigating the kill that Gene has just committed, which is great. The beavers are very interesting in this film. You never feel any remorse for them.
They've got a full civilization as well.
Yeah, and not once do we support them.
No.
I'm happy that they die, and I'm happy that he kills them. And Gene is such a compelling character.
They deserve it because they're beavers.
They do have it. They've got it coming. You support Gene. He kills so many. He's got
walking around with teeth like that, eating trees. You're not meant to eat trees. You're meant to eat the fruits from the trees, not the tree itself. It's ridiculous.
Certified beaver expert, Justin.
I am a...
Go on, say it. I know what you were going to say.
Yes. We get some really... There's a shot as well here that I just love that I honestly forgot about, and it's when he's carving a bit of wood, and he's doing this how need to describe this for audio? He drags
his kind of teeth along a piece of wood, and it kind of makes a shaving, and the shaving makes a sound. It goes...
It's a beautiful swirl. It's really good.
And so he gets the shaving, and he uses it like a harmonica because it makes a sound, and that's a lovely little bit. I love that it escalates from here. Every loop gets sillier.
The pacing speeds up a bit.
Yeah, we get a bit more pacing. Things happen very quickly. He learns a bit more, and every time he does a loop, he gets a new piece of equipment to use within that loop. And again, it's very like video game logic. He uses
it's like the period of like an RPG game where you're like leveling up, you're leveling up with your skills kind of thing.
Yeah,
grinding for equipment kind of thing. And
each loop gets sillier as Gene figures more kind of like mouse-trappy ways to kill the beavers, and it culminates into some great bits. And there's some stupidly crude bits. There's a little bit where Gene gets the heart out from earlier that he was given by the furrier, and there's just a couple flies on the heart going at it.
Yes.
And this is what I mean. The film is so crude in places and so silly, but you can't help but laugh because it's just so well put together. It's a silly film. Please, if you've not watched this, I cannot recommend this film enough to you.
There's so I'm looking at another part of like with the heart during that loop, and there's like 20, 30 maggots, and they're just having a great little time.
Yeah, so Gene opens up the heart from earlier, and now it's been rotting, and there's a bunch of maggots in it. And he figures he can use the maggots to lure some fish. And this is what I mean. Gene's train of thought is...
And he also eats one of the maggots, then his whole mouth like explodes into this like yogurty substance that starts dripping down his chin. And he looks so upset.
Oh, fucking Gene's expressions in this film are insane. He has
so funny.
Such a face that he just looks surprised at everything, and it's fantastic. He moves like a cartoon, and it's so good.
But then, he starts using the maggots as bait. And then there's one point he like hands the fishing rod to a snowman to hold it for him, but it can't grip. It's a snowman, so it does just fall, the poor guy. But he works out in the end, and then he's back to the market.
Back to the market is this. I want to say we get some bits with the furrier here, and she's a very strange character because she is clearly enamored by Gene, but also wants to get him in trouble.
Yeah,
for comedic purposes, because Gene is infatuated with the furrier and wants to marry her, but the father, the merchant, does not want this. So
because he's not rich enough, he's not got enough beaver gills yet.
Well, no, and originally the merchant wanted the master fur trader to marry the furrier, but sadly he's dead now.
Dead. Yeah.
And the merchant does cry about that.
Yeah,
quite a bit. He's upset by this, and I want to say there's a random bit where the Gene and the furrier are sitting across from each other, and she's got a big jacket on. She takes off her jacket and starts pole dancing.
Yeah, she just strips and starts pole dancing.
Completely out of nowhere, and to the bewilderment of Gene, which is great because his expression is fantastic because he's like, cut it out because your father's going to see. And it was at this point where nothing in this film needs to make sense.
Yeah.
This film knows what it's doing.
But in a lot of ways it still does.
Yeah.
But it's got cartoon logic, that's the thing. But it's this is a man on a very specific storyline, just in a world that makes no sense.
But it's fantastic.
It's brilliant.
And it's round about this point where we do get our first actual bit of dialogue. Well, one of our first bits where the father points his gun at Gene, and Gene just goes, and I'm going to peek my mic, because when Gene screams, his mic peaks. He just goes, "Oh shit!" And obviously it's censored, but it's out of nowhere, and he just screams it, and it just works. It's such a, I don't know how to describe this film without saying stupid, and at this point in the film, Gene's getting good at what he does, and at this point, and I'm going to skip a little bit because it's bit after bit after bit, and it's going to be difficult to describe them all because they're so unique and they're so outlandish. I couldn't do them justice describing them, but I shit you not, 1 hour and 15 minutes into the film. This is an hour and almost 2 hour film, 1 hour and 15 minute film. The merchant says to Gene, he says with title cards, he says, "If you want to marry my daughter, you will need to kill," and he mouths. You know what he mouths at this point, and we get a title card. We get the film's title card. Comes in. Hundreds of Beavers.
Like, an hour and 15 into the film.
We get the name of the
half an hour
film.
to go. We get the title card.
And I fucking stood up and yelled because it's such a good bit. Because you see the merchant mouth Hundreds of Beavers before it comes up, and when it comes
it's got
up,
a proper like Looney Tunes
the
style.
spiral, it goes.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of, at this point, Gene he needs to lock in. That's his goal for the end of the film, is he needs to kill hundreds of beavers. And it's at this point where the contraptions get a bit more outlandish.
They get insane. and he's had his whole story arc, and he's ready to, this is his final act, this is his big mission. And he goes insane. He starts like slaughtering so many of them.
He does. They're never in the same way.
They're in the most creative, treacherous way.
Over the course of the film, and of course Gene kills hundreds of beavers over the course of the film, not two beavers die in the same manner.
I know.
One beaver gets impaled, one gets like hit by a club, they get trapped, they get squashed, they get,
He starts using like fans as well. So there's like, at one point there's like fans placed to blow things into like a circle in the air, and it's like 10 beavers circling in the air.
It's like Mousetrap. It's like,
it's amazing.
The beaver picks up the bait, the fan blows the beaver into another fan, which has like a bat attached to it, hitting and killing him, and then propels the beaver into another series of fans. It's so good. You could not predict anything that happens in this film.
And at one point he like lures like tons of beavers into the wolf cave.
Not hundreds of beavers though, tons of beavers.
Tons, not hundreds of beavers, not yet. That's ridiculous. And then they go, because I think he like takes all of his clothes off, gets naked again.
Yeah.
Puts them in this cave, so all the beavers go in, and then they like signal the wolf in some way. I think he whistles or something.
Yeah, he uses himself, or a fake version of himself, as bait to both kill the wolves and the beavers, which is very clever because he traps them in the cave, doesn't he?
And there's this huge wide shot in the cave of all the beavers just getting mauled to death by these wolves.
This film is, they don't spare the violence to the beavers. Like, it's very surprisingly graphic. Like,
and again, this shot of them getting mauled by the wolves, it's a bunch of guys in beaver costumes and a bunch of folks in wolf costumes, and our wolf costumes are pretending to eat the necks of them.
They're just fighting each other, like punching each other. So this is a surprisingly gory film towards the beavers. Whenever beavers die, they get like, it's not a blood splatter. Instead, it's like stuffing, because they're a costume, which I really appreciate. Like a big stuffing explosion and stuff like that. And I mean, this goes on for a little bit until Gene needs to finish his loop and return to the shop.
Yes.
He returns to the shop and something isn't right. And I love this bit because it shows that you can't predict it. Obviously, the merchant and the furrier are stood still, and we know what's going to happen here is it's not real. And a big the shop it turned out to be a cardboard cutout. It falls on Gene, and all of his kills, all of his dead beavers are taken away to the beaver's fort, which over the course of the film, we see glimpses of this being built. And he fucking gets out after a while, he gets out from under the cardboard cutout, walks like 2 steps, and it's revealed another cardboard cutout is in fact there, like layered on top of the other one, and falls on him again. And it's so ridiculous. And you couldn't predict it at all. And that's why it works, because it makes you burst out. And Justin's watching this bit.
I'm just laughing again.
He's clapping his hands, he's giggling, kicking his feet. And that's how this film does make you feel.
It's amazing. He uses, at one point, am I right in saying he uses a pepper shaker as a telescope, then peppers his eye?
Yeah, you think he's getting a telescope. This is what I'm talking about, the unpredictability. He gets a pepper grinder out, puts it up to his eyes, grates the pepper on his face so that he sneezes. When he sneezes, snot shoots out of his nose, freezes into an icicle. He takes the icicle off and uses the icicle as a telescope. The gag setups and the comedy in this film is fantastic.
It is incredible.
I think it's time we venture into the beaver's fort.
this is my favourite part of the film. Is this last leg of it? This last part in the Beavers fort. This last like 20 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
is the best part.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because the visual style gets even more insane. It gets even less predictable. You're in this whole civilization of beavers you didn't know existed, really. And they mostly just the visual stuff. They try a bunch of things that they've not really done in the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And it just gets like you feel like you're on an acid trip. It's insane.
It's interesting because up until now, a lot of the stuff in the forest has been physical sets. They've clearly been on location, whereas this beaver fort is not. There's no physical sets in this segment of the film. It is all cutting and sticking, green screen.
It's just a guy in a cartoon for like a bit,
and
for a while.
The sets look fantastic during this bit.
So
They're
good.
all really well hand drawn, and really, it's a fantastic segment. It's very impressive.
Yeah, and he's like huge, grand, animated, and there's not really clear walls. It's sort of like platforms in this dark abyss sort of cave as well.
Yeah,
it looks amazing.
It's great, and we get a nice little. So Gene sneaks about for a little bit in the fort, which again accompanied by some great visuals of. Because there's bits where they animate Gene as well. He's not just a man on a green screen. There's bits where they squash and stretch him, and they animate like
they've puppeted actual pictures. Like,
yeah,
done like he's probably had no T-pose or been in a few poses.
They've rigged him,
and they've rigged him, and it looks so cool the way he like makes it. Because it doesn't look bad. He's in a cartoon thing, but it doesn't look bad.
No, this is what I mean.
Works.
You'd think the way we described the film, you'd think it doesn't look great, but this film looks fantastic.
It's a really, really good looking film.
So we have a little chase sequence when the beavers eventually find Gene.
Oh, I love this part.
I do as well.
They're on like moving logs on this sort of like water sort of conveyor belt thing. And there's also blades every so often cutting a log in half, so he's having to like the log splits and he's got to move to one half and stuff.
But this sequence is great because they use the depth so well because it is a chase sequence, but it's animated. It's not real. So like you have beavers who come into shot and they jump from the foreground, from the background to the foreground. And you can tell they physically just make the image bigger as they jump over because it's just edited.
And like when they're playing with the a sort of 2D platformer type shot to 3D angled shots. There's one part where like a beaver comes up behind him and then the angle turns from like a platformer 2D wide shot to looking behind Gene, and you see that the beaver is like in half. It's been split in half. And just falls.
It plays with our perspective of it as well. They really use the depth in this segment,
good.
And it works so incredibly well. And it's so impressive because this must have taken fucking ages.
Oh, absolutely. This is not an easy thing to make work.
Credit to the editors and everything, because you did such a good job. Sadly,
I will say, because I think it's worth saying, I do believe it, at least on Wikipedia, the one editor credited is the director and writer, Mike Cheslik?
Mike Cheslik.
Yeah, well, he also edited the film.
He did a fantastic job of both directing it and editing it. He really...
Dude had a vision.
I hope this film won awards, and I'm pretty sure it did win awards, but I really hope it did. So sadly, after this chase scene, Gene gets captured, sadly, and he's taken to Beaver Court. Again,
one of my favourite scenes.
Really?
This looks, just visually, it looks amazing.
See, this is one bit I will say, and I've spoken very highly of this film the whole time. I think this bit went on for a bit too long.
I can get that. I think just the visual things they tried, just the lighting and the composition of the shots, and how like the court guy is like a huge
the judge.
Yeah, the court guy.
The court guy.
You look up at him. There's sort of like a bit of sunlight shining in down at an exhibit behind him. There's almost like a fisheye sort of bulging distortion. Just this bit is just directed and composited incredibly well. Did it need to be as long? Well, that's a fair enough thing to say.
They do use the time. We get introduced,
but it looks good.
There's like a southern beaver. There's like a beaver with like a southern drawl, who's against Gene, but there's no dialogue in this film. So this beaver's like, and it's so good. But Gene he's found guilty of his crimes and taken to what I'm going to label this next segment as the bar fight sequence.
Yes.
Which is, I want to say, my favourite part of the film.
And again, an amazing segment.
So Gene wakes up on a table, there's a saw blade at his feet, and it is revealed that the beavers are going to turn Gene into a coat. And this is a great title sequence because they play with the title sequence because they show a picture of Gene and it says, Gene Kayak, the fur trapper, and it crosses out the fur trapper and replaces it with Gene Kayak, the coat.
And it's almost like he reacts to that title sequence and screams.
Yeah. He does. They're very aware of it. And this scene's great because we're back in a physical set now. We're now in a cabin, which is a physical set. We're no longer just on green screen. And they try something new completely because Gene escapes from his restraints by remembering what he's known about trapping and how ropes work. And he starts just fucking wrecking shit with the beavers, and it's a great fight scene, and no other part of the film is shot like this. They really try to stick to conventional fight scene tactics with this bit.
I love as well that when he's like working out how to like undo the rope and stuff, there's like an overlay of like a finger trap. I don't know what the name is of them.
The Chinese finger traps.
Yeah, the Chinese finger trap. Then when he undoes it and loosens the ropes, all the beavers just like, whoa! They're all like freaking out, like they all shit.
And that's when you know it's over for those beavers because Gene Kayak turns into what is essentially Looney Tunes John Wick.
He does, and he's like loving it. He's so happy to be there, killing all these beavers.
There's some great moments. Every time someone gets flung around, it's a rag doll. But then the rag doll gets flung on the floor. There's a very obvious cut, and then the actor gets up and runs back into the fight. And this is the same for both Gene and the beavers at this point.
It looks so good.
Like there's no green screen in this segment either, which I love. Like they kind of just throw shit at the wall and it sticks.
I love the classic as well because two beaver coppers come in with their batons.
Of course, the beaver coppers
and they chase him around the table like a proper cartoony. Then they turn around and go the other way and stuff.
And all the while Gene is like punching beavers and their heads are like spinning because he's quite kind of clearly punching the costumes and their heads are just reacting.
And as sometimes he'll like hit one and as it spins, it turns to the crossed out eyes.
Because he's killed them, yeah.
It looks so good. And the handheld shots and the long sort of looking down angled shots is just filmed so well in this shot. There's one point where they like attack him on a table and then they look because they've all sort of panning onto him. Then they step away and see it's a beaver they've been attacking, and then he like shows himself in the background, pulls a lever, then a blade comes and just murders this beaver.
It's such a gory bit, but because it's cartoon, it's not actual gore, so they get away with it, and it's great. And
such good fight scene
because he kicks a beaver into the fire. And the fire explodes with like fucking fire, and it's so good.
Oh, God.
And we have possibly, I want to say, the best kill in the film during this segment. A beaver punches Gene, and he kind of reacts to it a little bit. Gene punches the beaver back. The beaver's head is knocked off its body, and underneath is a skeleton.
It's a human skull as well.
It's a human skull underneath the costume, and then he grabs the rest of the pelt, rips the rest of the skin off the beaver so that he's just holding a human skeleton. And at this moment, that bit gets me every time. I am burst out laughing.
And then the beavers freak out. They're like,
this guy is not to be messed with. And
shit. Oh my God.
I can't with this film. It's so funny. It's such a comedic masterclass. And we are approaching the end of the film. And at this point, it is non-stop jokes. It is. They do not stop. And it gets fucking ridiculous at this point. I don't think I have much written down for the end segment because I was in a state of bewilderment at what they pull off. So it's revealed that the beavers are using Gene's cider, his apple cider from earlier, to propel a rocket that they have created. And I don't know what the purpose is of their rocket, and they don't explain it. It's just silly.
I want to go to the moon.
And the rocket launch is interrupted by Gene pushing a beaver into the supports. The rocket goes flying. It is very comedic. And at this point, there's a bunch of beaver scientists as well who have clearly been engineering a rocket. And I, if you're listening, I know what we're describing sounds ridiculous, but I assure you, I think we're describing it quite well.
I do think anyone listening by this point is when I've just fucking paused this and watched this film, and I really hope you have.
If you're not sold by what we're talking about, then there's something wrong with you.
Then what are you doing here?
Go watch the film. If we've convinced you to watch the film, please, I implore you to go watch it because this is a fantastic film. So they launched the rocket, and Gene's in trouble now because they've kind of caught onto him, and you get a great shot of all the beavers chasing Gene.
And this is a really cool sequence as well, because at this point, again, even though all the beavers are people in costumes, and obviously Gene's a normal guy, everyone is put onto like a animated background.
Yeah,
there's tons of them.
We're doing more cutting and sticking, as we said earlier. It just looks amazing. There's clearly edited to be more beavers than they are. So you've had the actors, they've done stuff, and they're now culminated into one big mass of hundreds of beavers, which are now chasing Gene. And you've got some great chase segments here. You know, Gene walks past some beavers and he pushes them into holes, and they fall down this giant gaping pit.
It's just this like mass grave.
Because they attempt to bury Gene's kills from earlier because they don't like that he's done that. And he's not going to have that because they're his. He's worked hard for that. He's worked very hard for that. So he pushes these beavers in the grave, and they fall into this dark abyss. It's a great bit. Great bit.
So at one point, there's some of them who are like on the edge, and he just threatens them into jumping in themselves.
And they kill themselves. They willingly jump in.
Dark.
It's a very dark film, but because you have no remorse for the beavers and you are completely in support of Gene, you know, I'm sure even if you were an animal rights activist, you'd still be gunning against these beavers. They chase, and there's a good bit with the sledges.
There's like a sledge.
It's a sledge chase. There's a car chase, but on sledges.
But really, it's just building up to the sickest chase in the whole film, which is when all the beavers, like the Power Rangers, sort of build together to become one giant beaver made of little beavers.
They create a beaver mech, a beaver combination, and this is
such a good chase. It looks awesome.
And I really like this because what I would like to guess of how they did that is the giant beaver is actually someone in a green suit with tons of tiny beavers stuck to them.
I think that's right.
Oh, it works so well. And the rocket comes back, and the native fur trapper lassos the rocket. And there's a great bit where he his clothes burst off of him because he uses all his strength, and he unleashes the rocket into the beaver mech, and it explodes. It explodes gloriously, and Gene, who has moved from foot to sledge, and now he's on top of a giant snowball which he created. Because of course,
mention that. But he's on a giant snowboard now.
You know, that's just the natural progression of the film. And he's on top of it, kind of like pedaling it along, and he kind of realizes that he's gonna take this snowball directly to the merchant's shop. And you get a great parallel to the start of the film where the same thing happens, and he barrels it into his house. And he doesn't. He breaks it at the last moment. And then he jumps on the snowball, and the snowball explodes, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beavers shoot gloriously into the sky and rain down. And at this point, the beaver counter is like going brrrr.
It's like on 360, 370, 380, 390.
It's counting and counting and counting. And
hundreds of beavers.
Gene takes the furrier into his arms because he's managed to successfully get. It's in the bag now.
Yeah.
Gets her in his arms, and they're about to embrace. And the merchant comes in and kisses Gene on the mouth instead.
And then there's this little thing. It's like the sort of spotlight effect is like a vignette, and then Gene just turns to the camera and has this like frowny face, like, oh dear, what just happened here?
And then he spits because it's gross that this old man kissed him. He spits with another, and he spits, and it lands in the spit bucket.
For the first time
at the end of the film, and the spit bucket spins to reveal the spit bucket says,
the end.
Beautiful
wow.
film. Beautiful film. I hope we have done a good job of taking you through the film. If you haven't watched it, oh my goodness, go watch it, because now it is time. It's time for the episode where we give it legs.
This is the system where we rate a film from 0 to 100, 0 being like a worm, no legs, 100 being some kind of creature with 100 legs.
Centipede, Justin.
Or like a bunch of spiders that have been sewn together with a little sewing machine.
That's fucked up, man. You can't say that.
Sorry.
Justin, do you want to go first or shall I go first?
I'll go first.
Go on, Justin. Fucking hell, Jesus, he's getting really into it.
In the process of recording this podcast, my score's gone up. Because I've actually come to appreciate it more looking back at it without thinking, I don't know what to write down here. Because I was like,
Yeah.
But now just thinking, just being in the moment, watching it back, talking about it, I've come to enjoy it.
Okay, what's your score?
Even more.
What are you going to give it, Justin?
So this is a film about a silly man becoming an expert animal trapper with elaborate, insane ideas. The visual style is awesome. It's very creative. The composition, the lighting, everything's gorgeous. It's got some really funny moments, some cool puppets and all that. The lead performance is cool. He does a great job. And like we were saying before, he does a great job of making slapstick work without being corny. But the main thing that I didn't really speak about it much during this recording, but the one thing that was like bugging me at certain points.
Yeah.
Bugging. And it was more in the midsection. At the end, I was won over. At the start, I was won over. In the midsection, one thought that was sort of like, I don't know, itching at me is that sometimes it felt like too much of a good thing because it's a really great style, a really great film. I understand why anyone would love it. But this kind of concept and film style, I think it's mad that this is almost 2 hours.
It's a long film. I agree.
That's it. And I think this, if it was a bit shorter, I'd adore it. It'll be so much more closer to perfect. Yeah. But as a 2-hour feature, watching this all at once, trying to absorb it with no dialogue as well, it was like, I don't know, maybe it's a little too much of a good thing, I suppose. It's
non-stop, isn't it? You never get a break from it.
That's it. It's very fast, and it definitely could have been chopped down a little bit, you know what I mean? There's some bits that could have been cut down a bit.
They do a lot of long-running gags.
Yeah,
and there's usually a long setup to the punchline.
And those gags by themselves are incredible, but it's when it's all next to each other. It's like, did this need to be 2 hours long almost? But I was one back a little bit again at the end. I'm talking about it today. I'm realizing more how incredible this film is.
Yeah,
I'm thinking a sort of around about 75 legs.
75 legs.
I think if this was a series or a collection of shorter films, it'll be closer to like a perfect mark.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking around 75. I can imagine myself pushing to 80 on another watch.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What about you?
So I think this film impresses me as a start. Mm-hmm. It's such a well-crafted and lovingly made film and a great love letter to old-style comedy, which is... And it works so well. The performances are fantastic. The story is so basic. It just works really well. I would struggle to see how you wouldn't enjoy this film because it just hits every mark. It hits the nail on the head. And it does everything it sets out to accomplish. I'm going to do something very ballsy, I think, this episode, Justin. I genuinely think this is the perfect comedy film. I am going to give this film a whopping 100 legs.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Hundreds of Beavers gets hundreds of legs.
Yes.
It's amazing.
No, just 100, not hundreds.
Oh, 100, sorry.
It's not break format, mate.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it does everything it sets out to do. It hits all the jokes perfectly. The performances are fantastic. There's so much love and time and effort put into this film, and it pays off so well because I've never seen a film like this before. Mm-hmm. And I hope they make more films like this because it's just fantastic. And I would just like to do what I set out to do. I want to do what I set out to do at the start of the episode and credit all of the mascots because they're great. Mm-hmm. So the players, we've talked about the actors. I'd love to talk about the mascots. Thank you to Brendan Steer, John Truey, Jay Brown, Jason Horencher, Stephen Cravantes, Max Hay, Eric West, Daniel Long, Tyler Walker, Jessica Knapp, Lewis R. Schultz, Tobias Christian Wong, James Schofield, Chris Holter, John Horn, Maurice Gross, Jerry Kurick, Mike Wesolowski, Ryan Fox, Mike Cheslik, Tyree Pope III, and Matt Haupt. You guys are fantastic, and I felt like I had to talk about them because they're just amazing. And I probably butchered all of their names, so that's good. But Fantastic film.
I think an important thing you said before that I think sums it up is this film was made by people who love the craft and love films, and you can tell.
Yeah, that's what you want out of a film, which is
Absolutely
just amazing.
Incredibly well made. So all in all, I'm going to say 82 legs.
Have you just moved it up right now?
It up.
Oh my goodness.
I was thinking more, you just inspired me a bit.
In my inspiring
83
speech.
legs!
Yeah! We're moving up.
Basically, really good film. And fucking, you know what I want to say to them flies, mate?
Go on, what are you going to say, Justin?
Buzz off!
Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Go watch this film. It was amazing. You there, if you want to contact us, you can at screenbugspodcast@gmail.com. You can send us messages, or even, if you're feeling dangerous, you can request a film, and we might just review it.
You know what's even better, Kai?
What?
Well, you can find us on Instagram at ScreenBugs Podcast, or on Twitter /X at ScreenBugs. I'll see you there, and I better see you there.
We know.
This is Justin. Justin to Kai. Kai, do you copy?
I read you, Justin. How are you, Justin?
Ben, do you hear us?
I read you, fella. Over.
I've got terrible news, chaps.
What's wrong?
Well, nobody's leaving a fucking review on our podcast.
That's bloody terrible.
What ho? We must fix this!
At once. If you're listening, please leave a review.
Oh, God!
Post haste. Correspondence over.
Over.
Over.